What is up, everybody? It's Camo Gaming. This is part 5 of our multiple part series of talent trees. Today we are going to go ahead and start with the Sith Warrior Juggernaut. The Sith Warrior Juggernaut can actually be played as two different types. You can either be a melee DPS or you can be a tank spec. For the sake of all these videos, these are all videos for PvP specs, but also for leveling, so that way you can get through your content as fast as possible, but also get you from 1 to 50 as fast as possible as well. The Sith Warrior, their mechanics is very similar to like a warrior in World of Warcraft. Basically, it's kind of like you generate this rage counter. So you start with 0, you have some basic attacks that cost 0, basically 0 force or 0 of your rage, and then as you do more of those, as you basically do more of those auto hits, you increase your rage, which allows you to use stronger skills. You do have a maximum, so you can't get over, I believe it's 100. Nevertheless, you can use your rage points or your skills as soon as the energy becomes available. So I'm going to cover the Sith Warrior Juggernaut, the DPS spec here. So the Sith Warrior Juggernaut will actually have 3 different types of stances or forms. In this case, it's going to be Shicho form. The Shicho form is a form that is used for this Vengeance spec. The Shicho form enters a balanced lightsaber form, increasing all damage dealt and reducing all damage received by 3%. So that is the stance or the form that you would be in the entire time to maximize your performance. So if that's the case, we're going to go with Single Saber Mastery, increases melee damage. We're going to have Decimate, increases damage dealt by Smash by 30% and lowers its cooldown by 3 seconds. What Smash does is smashes up to 5 enemies within 5 meters, dealing X kinetic damage. Also stuns weak and standard enemies for 1 second. So extremely great for AoE, extremely great for multiple enemies in one area. We're going to skip improving Sundering Salt. This would be very useful, I think, for late game, for PvE, to stack these Sunder armors, but in our case, because we're going to be ripping through mobs, we're not going to use this. We're going to skip Unyielding, because you generate 2 rage when stunned, put to sleep, or knocked down. This won't happen very much as you're leveling. Dreadnought increases total strength by 6%. Strength is one of the primary attributes that a Sith Warrior wants to focus on. Sith Warrior Juggernaut, DPS wants to focus on. We have accuracy, increases the accuracy of melee, so that you would obviously miss less. We have Draining Scream. Force Scream has an X% chance to cause a target to bleed for 12 damage over 2 seconds. The bleed effect is a damage over time, so that they take damage, a specific amount of damage over a course of a period, so it's not like burst damage. However, Force Scream blasts a target with a Force Enhanced Scream, dealing X kinetic damage. In addition, standard and weak enemies are stunned and deafened for 4 seconds. So this is a really great skill. There is a cooldown of 12 seconds, so you can't just spam it, but as you can imagine, this is probably one of the ones that you want to start off with. You probably want to start off with Force Scream, because not only does it stun, so you get free hits, but also puts on a bleed effect. You're going to have Shin form, enters an aggressive lightsaber form, increasing all damage dealt by 6%. All attacks that cost rage will refund 1 rage when used. In addition, you generate 1 rage when attacked, but this effect cannot occur more than once every 6 seconds. So you should definitely use this on cooldown, as you're able to blow stuff much faster. You have Unstoppable. Force Charge has an X% chance to grant Unstoppable, reducing all damage taken by 20%, granting immunity to interrupts and all controlling effects for 2 seconds. As you can imagine, this allows you to basically rip through things even faster. What Force Charge is, I believe you jump into combat. Let me just double check here. I believe jumps to a distant target, dealing X damage with the main weapon, immobilizing the target for 1 second, and interrupting the target's current action. Builds 3 rage, cannot be used against targets in cover. Yeah, so you basically it's just like WoW, and as a warrior, you basically just charge to the enemy. Actually, it's more like the Heroic Leap. That's more like what this would be. We're going to skip Bold Hatred, because whenever moving in the pair, it's very unlikely that is to happen against mobs. We're going to have Ruin. Smash no longer costs rage. That's always very beneficial, since you'll be using Smash very often. We have Vengeance, reduces the cooldown of Impale by 6 seconds and Force Scream by 3 seconds. What Impale does, I believe, is actually one of the next skills here. Yeah, so it just deals a large amount of damage to a target enemy. We're going to skip this, generate 1 additional rage when taking area effect damage, because that's not going to happen very often. Savagery, Impale, and Shatter have X% chance to increase the critical hit chance of Force Scream and Vicious Throw by 60% for 90 seconds. This Vicious Throw is like the execute ability of warriors, except it's kind of cool because you actually throw your lightsaber, and you can only use it if the enemy is under less than 20% total life. So once the enemy is under less than 20% total life, you use Vicious Throw, deals a ton of damage, supposedly finishing that enemy off. We have Eviscerate, so Impale has an X% chance to cause the target to bleed. You have Huddle, increases total endurance. So this in total endurance basically just increases the amount of HP you would have. So this is extremely useful not only for PvP but also for leveling purposes. So you're not like Gimp walking around. We do have Deafening Defense, reduce all damage taken by 4%, very useful. Also additionally reduces the cooldown and Intimidating Roar by 15 seconds. Intimidating Roar is basically your AoE that scares all enemies around you for like 4 or 5 seconds. So they basically run and they can't fight. They're basically kind of incapacitated. Well, Rampage, Impale, and Shatter have an X% chance to finish the cooldown Ravage. This effect cannot occur more than once every 15 seconds. Each rank beyond the first reduces the rate limit by 3 seconds. What Ravage is, Ravage performs a series of lightsaber attacks that deal X weapon damage over 3 seconds. It does stun the enemy, so it's what it is actually like a channeling spell. You use this you basically attack for 3 seconds while the enemy cannot do anything if they're a standard or weak enemy. So they just sit there getting stunned, and then you basically combo them. However, it is a 30-second cooldown, so you can't just spam this repeatedly. And finally, you have the most powerful one, which is Shatter. Channels the Force into your lightsaber and crushes your target under its weight, dealing 1 internal damage to the target afflicted by Sudden Assault with a further 8 internal damage over 1 second. So as you can see, most of these skills under Vengeance, we did 33 points into it. Most of it has a lot of bleeds, a lot of dots effects. There's not a whole lot of burst damage. I mean, most of them, you do some damage, but then it seems like there's mostly bleeds. So I'm assuming that you should be able to stack those internal damages or dots. So that might be one of the strategies you use as a Juggernaut. You're not going to be able to rip through things as fast as some other classes, but I believe over time the Juggernaut seems to be maybe one of the top DPS maybe for boss fights. So continuing on, we're going to finish off. We're going to have a couple of points in Immortal. Battlecry, Force Charge and Obliterate, have a chance to make the next Force Scream. Activated cost no charge, very useful. And then we have a few more points into Rage. Increases the critical chance of your Force attacks by 6%, and increases the duration of Force Charge and Mobilize effect by 1 second. It's a little bit, there's some things here that are a little bit iffy. I'm not necessarily sure what to do with the last couple of points, so do leave your comment. Let me know what you think. This is not as cookie cutter as I thought or hoped it to be. Let me know what you think where the final points should be, but I believe this would be the best PvP and leveling spec that I've played so far in the beta. So let me know what you think. Click like the video, subscribe to my channel, check out the other talent trees, and let me know what class you think you'll be playing. Alright, peace out.